Welcome back to Hard Hat Chat. Everyone, I'm Justin Smith, CEO of Contractor Plus, and joining me as always is Gerritt Bake, CEO of Build Pro. Today we're diving into a topic that has every contractor in America either laughing, crying, swearing, or silently pouring themselves a drink. TikTok DIY influencers. Are they destroying the trades? Are they somehow growing the industry? Or are they just out there teaching millions of homeowners how to flood their own bathrooms in under 30 seconds? Because depending on who you ask, TikTok is either a blessing, a curse, or the reason plumbers get emergency calls at midnight that start with, "So I tried something I saw in a video."
You know the videos I'm talking about. Someone with perfect lighting, perfect hair, perfectly clean hands, which is your first sign they don't do this for a living, standing in a spotless kitchen saying, "Today I'm going to show you how to replace your garbage disposal in 5 minutes." And contractors everywhere are watching like, 5 minutes? It takes 10 minutes just to get the old one to let go of the mounting bracket without swearing. These influencers make everything look so simple that homeowners start believing they've unlocked a superpower.
And then the homeowner attempts it, realizes they're in way over their head, and guess who they call? The contractor. But now, instead of a straightforward job, you're fixing the problem plus reversing whatever was done incorrectly. It's basically the trade version of undoing a toddler's attempt at baking cookies. Nothing wrong with the intention, but oh boy, the cleanup.
What blows my mind is how confident some of these influencers are. They'll stare straight into the camera with zero hesitation and say things like, "Just tighten this until it feels right." What does that even mean? Feels right is different for every human. A plumber with 20 years of experience knows exactly how tight something should be because they've snapped enough fittings in their career to sense the danger point. But a homeowner who lifts weights twice a week, they're about to twist that brass fitting into another dimension.
But here's the curveball. Not all TikTok DIY content is bad. Some of it is genuinely helpful. Some creators explain safety, explain code considerations, explain when to call a professional, explain why something isn't as simple as it looks. There are influencers out there who actually respect the trades and try to educate homeowners instead of encouraging disaster.
That's why the industry is so split. On one side, you have contractors saying TikTok is ruining everything, devaluing skilled labor, and making homeowners dangerously confident. On the other side, you have contractors saying TikTok is actually giving them more leads than ever because every failed DIY attempt becomes a phone call. And honestly, both sides are right.
Yeah, the funniest thing about this whole situation is that TikTok has made homeowners more curious. Before, they only called contractors when something broke. Now they're calling because they want to upgrade, remodel, or optimize something they didn't even know existed until an influencer did a cinematic video with a before and after reveal and inspirational background music. TikTok has practically become HGTV on steroids. And expectations.
Expectations shifted too. Homeowners see a 20-second clip of someone installing a bathroom vanity and they think it should cost a couple $100 and take half an hour. Meanwhile, the real job requires shutting off water, demoing the old vanity, leveling the new one, dealing with plumbing alignment that hasn't been straight since the Nixon administration, securing it to the studs, sealing everything, reconnecting plumbing, testing for leaks, and making sure nothing explodes later. But TikTok makes it look like a quick weekend vibe.
That's the danger. Misinformed expectations. When a homeowner sees a creator do a tile backsplash without spacers, without proper grout mixing, without surface prep, without accounting for movement or moisture, they think they can do it too. And then they call the contractor 2 months later saying the tiles are falling off. Must be a material defect. No, it's a TikTok confidence defect.
At the same time, TikTok has created a massive audience craving construction content. And that's where contractors are actually winning. The ones who show real work, real craftsmanship, real troubleshooting, real problem solving, they're building audiences. And those audiences become customers. TikTok isn't just a threat, it's a marketing engine that costs nothing but your time and authenticity.
That's what I love about the contractors who jumped on TikTok early. They show the real side of the trades, the dust, the sweat, the mess, the unexpected curveballs behind every wall. They explain why pricing is what it is. They explain why shortcuts fail. They explain why professional work looks, feels, and lasts differently. These creators aren't competing with DIY influencers, they're educating homeowners in a way that benefits everyone.
And homeowners trust authenticity more than perfection. They'd rather see a contractor explain why a job is tricky than watch somebody fake their way through a flawless install filmed with dramatic music and zero context. Real tradespeople don't need filters. The work speaks for itself.
But the bigger question we're exploring today is whether TikTok is destroying or growing the trades. And honestly, I think it's doing both at the same time. It destroys credibility when misinformation spreads faster than correction, but it grows awareness, respect, and demand when real professionals start engaging with the platform.
It's like handing the industry a megaphone. Some people scream nonsense into it, some people deliver value. The audience decides who they believe, and the contractors who show up consistently get seen as the experts. They become the faces of the trade. They become educators, not just service providers.
And look at brand exposure. Some contractors used to spend thousands on traditional ads that didn't work at the time. Now they post a video of fixing a leak or explaining why tankless systems need flushing, and suddenly they've got 10,000 people watching. TikTok puts trades in front of eyeballs they never had before.
The opportunity here is massive, but the fear is understandable too. When homeowners think they can DIY everything, contractors walk into more broken stuff than ever before. But honestly, that's been happening since YouTube launched. The difference now is the scale. TikTok spreads ideas faster than common sense can keep up.
And that's where next part is going. We're diving deep into the contractor side of this, the frustration, the stories, the you won't believe what this homeowner tried moments, but also the strategy behind using TikTok as a business tool instead of treating it like the enemy.
Because the real question isn't whether DIY influencers are hurting the industry. The real question is how contractors respond. Do they shake their fist at the screen, or do they step into the conversation and show the world how things are actually done?
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. And hey, if you're a contractor looking to scale your business without adding more chaos, check out Contractor Plus. It's the only app you'll ever need to run your business from start to finish. CRM, estimates, invoices, payments, plus powerful integrations like QuickBooks Online, Zapier, Authorize.net, ABC Supply, and more. Go further, win more, and work smarter with Contractor Plus. All right, we're back. And this part is where we step straight into the contractor trenches. Because if you've been in the trades longer than 10 minutes, you already know the chaos TikTok has unleashed. Suddenly, every homeowner thinks they're a weekend warrior with expert level skills because an influencer wearing a perfectly clean flannel shirt said, "You can totally do this, it's really easy." And then they cut to a time lapse where everything magically fits together without resistance, sweat, or profanity.
Contractors everywhere are yelling at their phones like they're watching a horror movie. Don't do that. Turn the water off first. Why are you using that tool? No, you can't just caulk over that. But the TikTok creator keeps smiling while doing something that would make an inspector pass out. And then guess who gets the call when it all goes sideways? The very contractor who screamed at their phone.
The crazy part isn't even the failed DIY attempts. That's been around since YouTube. What's different is the speed and confidence. TikTok gives people 15 seconds of dopamine, and suddenly they're out here thinking they're HGTV hosts. They're demoing walls without checking what's inside. They're moving outlets like it's rearranging furniture. They're gluing pipes they shouldn't glue, cutting pipes they shouldn't cut, drilling into studs like they're Swiss cheese. TikTok has turned your average homeowner into a risk-taking adrenaline junkie, except the danger is water lines, not cliff diving.
What gets me is when homeowners try to explain the problem to the contractor using TikTok terminology. They'll say, "So yeah, I followed this hack and now my P-trap is vibrating." Or "I tried the influencer shortcut for unclogging drains, but now the whole pipe is making weird noises." Or the classic, "I put flex tape on everything they said and now it's worse." Every contractor knows that sentence. "I tried a hack." When a customer says that, you already know you're walking into a job that requires more fixing than installation.
Contractors have such mixed emotions. On one hand, half the calls are disasters created by these DIY tutorials. On the other, those disasters are paying invoices. The job that would have cost $300 now costs $1,200 because you're undoing mistakes, replacing ruined parts, and praying the homeowner didn't turn a small issue into a structural catastrophe. It's like the
Trades have become the cleanup crew for the internet's confidence problem. And the funniest part, the homeowner will still say it looked so easy on the video. That's because the influencer edited out the 3 hours of frustration, the part they broke off screen, the moment they realized they needed help, and the 5 different times they restarted filming because they didn't want people to see them sweating.
I talked to a contractor last week who said he should start charging a TikTok recovery fee. Not a joke, he installs faucets all day long. It's routine for him. But TikTok told people, oh, you can do this with just a wrench and determination. And now he walks into homes where the faucet is halfway installed. The supply lines are twisted like pretzels, and the homeowner looks at him like he's arriving to rescue them from a burning building.
What TikTok creators never show is liability. They show how to DIY a plumbing repair, but they don't show what happens when the fitting pops loose in the middle of the night. They show electrical shortcuts, but never mention fire hazards or code requirements. They show framing hacks, but don't explain structural integrity. And homeowners genuinely believe that if someone online did it confidently, it must be safe and legal. That disconnect is dangerous, not because people are stupid, but because the content makes complex things look simple.
But here's the twist. Contractors are also building massive audiences by showing the real side. TikTok has turned into a stage for tradespeople who aren't afraid to be honest. They show the mess. They show the callbacks. They show the hidden damage behind the drywall. They show why a professional is needed. And people love that stuff because it's real. There's this plumber in Texas. He goes viral constantly because he explains everything step by step while also telling people what can go wrong. He's not condescending. He's not trying to scare anyone. He's simply showing reality, and people trust him for it.
And trust leads to business. Customers call the professionals they recognize, the ones they feel connected to. TikTok's greatest side effect is attention, and attention creates authority. Contractors who post consistently become the voice of reason in a world full of hacks and shortcuts.
TikTok also gives trades future employees. Young people who would never have considered plumbing, electrical, or carpentry are now mesmerized by the videos showing how things really work. Some of the best performing TikToks are tradespeople doing their job. It's weird, but amazing. The platform has accidentally become a recruitment.
And if asked companies trying to grow right now, they'll tell you straight the industry desperately needs more people. So if TikTok gets the next generation curious, that's a win. We've spent years trying to convince people that trades aren't some backup plan for failing students. TikTok is proving it. Teens and young adults are watching these creators and saying, that looks awesome. That looks satisfying. That looks like real skill. And that's a big deal.
But with growth comes chaos, because now you have half the industry saying TikTok influencers are ruining everything, and the other half saying TikTok influencers made my business explode. And honestly, both are right. The bad influencers create headaches, the good influencers create opportunity. It's a battlefield of content. Some of it is gold, some of it is a grenade with the pin halfway pulled.
The contractors who thrive are the ones who lean into the opportunity instead of complaining about the chaos. If homeowners are watching DIY videos, meet them there. Show them when they should DIY and when they definitely shouldn't. Show them what goes wrong when influencers skip steps. Show them the value of hiring someone who understands the job beyond a time-lapse clip.
Because here's the truth no one can deny. TikTok isn't going away. DIY culture isn't going away. The question isn't how to stop it. The question is how contractors ride the wave
Instead of being swallowed by it. And that's what we're diving into in next part. How contractors can turn TikTok into a marketing tool, a recruiting tool, a trust building tool, and even a long-term scaling tool. Because the future belongs to the contractors who adapt instead of resist. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back after a short break. And hey, if you're a contractor looking to scale your business without adding more chaos, check out Contractor Plus. All right, here we go. And this is where we flip the whole conversation on its head. because the trades have a choice to make. They can either treat TikTok DIY influencers as the villains of the industry, or they can treat the platform as the biggest megaphone the trades have ever been handed. Think about this for a second. For decades, contractors have been begging for ways to educate customers, build trust, explain pricing, show their process, and stand out from competitors. And suddenly, there's this platform where a single 50-second clip can get seen by 1 million people. And a lot of contractors still look at it like it's the enemy.
Right. It's like someone handed them a winning lottery ticket and they said, nah, I don't trust scratch offs. The truth is, TikTok isn't coming for the trades. Homeowners aren't suddenly learning how to replumb a house just because they watch the trending sound. They're consuming entertainment. They're getting curious. They're dipping their toe into understanding how things work. That curiosity is not a threat. It's the doorway to hiring professionals.
And let's talk about something that nobody admits out loud. Homeowners love to feel like they understand what's happening, even if they don't want to do it themselves. They're not always looking to DIY everything. Sometimes they just want to avoid feeling clueless when a contractor explains something. TikTok gives them that little bit of confidence. And when a homeowner feels included instead of confused, they trust a contractor more.
And trust is everything. When you show up to a job and the customer doesn't feel intimidated, the conversation flows smoother. They ask better questions. They make decisions faster. They appreciate the professionalism more. And who do you think they call the next time they need something? The person who made them feel informed, not overwhelmed.
Contractors who post content, even simple content, are building brand familiarity. Familiarity creates comfort. Comfort creates loyalty. You've got contractors landing jobs because the customer said, I've been watching your videos for months. Think about that. Before the contractor ever stepped foot on the property, the customer already felt they knew them.
And it's not because the contractor danced on camera or yelled motivational quotes with a nail gun in hand. It's because they gave value. They showed reality. They shared little nuggets of insight that most people never get to see. And that transparency builds authority in a way no billboard or flyer ever could.
But let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, TikTok also creates complete chaos. There's nothing like walking into a job after someone followed a super easy plumbing hack from an influencer who lives in a different country with different building codes, completely different materials, and probably a team behind the scenes actually doing the hard part while they smile into a camera. Contractors are seeing more mistakes now than ever before because homeowners are experimenting.
But here's the part contractors need to realize. Every failed DIY attempt is an opportunity, not just for revenue, but for education. Instead of getting frustrated, imagine using those moments to explain what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how professionals prevent it. That's not shaming the customer. It's building understanding. And when people understand what you do, they value what you do.
Exactly. One of my favorite things to see is when contractors take common TikTok DIY advice and break it down on their own channels. Not mockingly, but honestly. They'll say, this video shows you how to replace a toilet in 20 seconds. Here's what that video doesn't show. And then they walk through the reality. Suddenly, the viewer goes, oh, okay, that makes sense. And now that contractor just gained the follower, a lead, and the future customer.
And the best part? Good contractors don't need fancy production. They don't need cinematic effects. They don't need drone footage. They just need authenticity. People love seeing a plumber covered in dust explaining why something leaks. They love watching an electrician show the hidden dangers inside a panel. They love watching HVAC techs open up systems that haven't been cleaned in 10 years. It's raw. It's real. It's satisfying.
And authenticity is the biggest differentiator in the digital age. If contractors understood how powerful it is to let people see who they are, they'd stop hiding behind logos and start showing their faces. Because in a world full of DIY hacks, the voice of the professional stands out when the professional actually speaks.
Which brings us back to our title. Are TikTok DIY influencers destroying or growing contracting businesses? The answer depends entirely on the contractor. If you ignore the platform, you'll only see the damage, the bad advice, the half-finished homeowner disasters, the unrealistic expectations. But If you embrace the platform, you'll see the opportunity, the education, the attention, the connection, the referrals, the recruiting pipeline, the audience that sees you as the expert.
And here's where I think the future is headed. The contractors who win long term will be the ones who merge old school craftsmanship with new age communication. The ones who not only know how to fix things, but know how to explain them. The ones who show the world what real craftsmanship looks like instead of letting influencers with no field experience dominate the conversation.
And the beautiful part is, you don't need to be a content creator. You just need to be present. Share a moment from your day. Share a common mistake. Share a quick tip. Share a story. Share the human side of the job. Because people love tradespeople. They just don't see enough of them.
TikTok didn't come to replace contractors. It came to expose the reality that the trades matter, that skilled labor matters, that craftsmanship matters. And the contractors who lean into that reality are building audiences, building businesses, and building the future of the trades.
So instead of asking whether TikTok is good or bad for the industry, contractors should be asking themselves the real question. Am I using this moment to grow, or am I letting it pass me by?
Because whether we like it or not, homeowners are watching, influencers are teaching, the algorithm is amplifying, and the contractors who step forward, speak up, and show their work will become the leaders customers trust above all the noise.
This has been Hard Hat Chat. TikTok doesn't destroy the trades. Silence does. Show up, share your craft, and let the world see why professionals still matter more than ever.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.